This is a story how I went from zero performance experience to not only performing but hosting my own underground boom bap community. Let's get into it. Yeah, who am I? What do I do? What is Boro? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Justin. I go by Nene Music. I'm an underground boom bap, just hip hop producer, and I've been producing for about 3 years now. Ever since I started producing, there's always been a question of how to get my music in front of people, right? You see people trying to get into algorithm strategies to try and get their music in front of the right people. Honestly, I've never been the biggest promoter through social media like that. So for me, it was hard. I started doing some things, nothing that really stuck, that felt natural at least. So as I started to get into music production a little more and start to find myself, find my sound, I started meeting some people who were interested in that sound. And over time, I started to realize that, hey, there's some kind of community around this, and I still haven't got my music in front of people the way I wanted to. And that's where Boro came in. What Boro is it's a community of producers, rappers, just general artists that are in the underground hip hop scene. We throw these themed events to get their music heard, get experience in front of the performing in front of people, and feel comfortable, feel like they have a network to build around a little bit. You know what I mean? As a whole, in 2023, we've had a total of 3 shows. Yeah, I think the main goal is really to just connect people who are in this sound and are passionate about what they do. So in January 23, I decided the people who I was making music with that we should perform. All of us didn't really have a lot of experience performing, and we didn't have the listeners or the followers to really get people to come to a show, or at least to come to a show that was held at a larger venue. Mainly because a lot of these venues want people who have an audience already, who they know can bring an audience in, sell drinks, sell tickets, and they get their money and they get their split. So we decided to throw our own show, and that's where Boro kind of comes in. That first show that we threw, it was 3 of my homies. It really started with just our friends and the people who we were connected with, and it started to grow from there. Basically, this video is kind of set to be a guideline. There's some things that I learned, things that I wish I did differently. If I could help you kind of ease that, yeah, I think that would be cool. So let's get into this. First things first, you need a lineup. Obvious, right? With that lineup, you want to try and curate a certain sound. I've been to events in the past that the sound hasn't really been curated, and it's kind of just a bunch of artists on a lineup in different genres. Sometimes it works if the genre is adjacent to each other. Sometimes it works if just the personalities are really good, or it's just some kind of showcase that they're trying to do. But most of the time, me personally, at least, I don't think it's the best thing to try and do. We wanted to make our shows a little different in that if you went into our venue that we were at, you knew exactly what you were getting into. With each of the events, we curated our lineup to make sure that they're not the same exact sound, but they're in the same world. You got your lineup. Next thing is, where are you going to perform, right? This took a lot of research, and for these first few events, I think part of it is we got lucky, part of it is just knowing the right people. You want to have it locked in at least 2 to 3 months in advance. That way there's no conflicts with the venue. You can secure it, and yeah, you kind of hold that date, start telling people, start building a buzz early instead of having it be done last minute. You got your artists, you got your venue, and now it's time to try and get people in the door, right? First thing is how people are going to get in or reserve their spot. Eventbrite is an easy way to get people tickets and to kind of reserve it that way. It takes a little coordination, and you want to make sure you have at the door the right people performing the ticketing. That way there's no confusion, especially if it's paid. How do you get people to buy tickets? Promo. It really comes down to word of mouth and just building a buzz around your event. So if your event has some kind of theme, then you want to lean into that and make sure your promotion is connected to that theme or to that kind of vibe that you're trying to set, right? We did a lot of promo for both events on TikTok. That had some success. You really got to mess around with the algorithm and the tags that you use. There's Facebook ads. We've tried it for one of our events. Honestly, I didn't think it was too successful. Maybe I wasn't doing it right. And yeah, if you're promoting to your friends, IG is a really good tool that you can use, not only to just send posts out, but if there's people on IG who you think would be interested in your sound, interested in this event, honestly, just cold DM them. I was doing that for all of these events. And it was really just, hey, we have this event. We'd love to see you there. We like either if it's another musician, the music that they perform, or just kind of the vibe that they're in, the art that they create. Actually take some time, listen to a song, engage whether or not they're a good contender. Don't just shoot out and just shoot the net wide. You want to shoot your net wide, but you don't want to be reaching out to the wrong people because you didn't actually do some research on them, right? So it's worthwhile to do some research and see who they are as an artist and why you want them at your event, basically. Throwing an event is expensive. That's one thing I don't really touch on. If you're splitting it with people, that's cool. But the biggest thing that we learned in the second event is trying to lock down sponsors. What they may ask is, okay, when your event is, what type of event is it, and how many people are you expecting at the event, right? All of those you should already know by now because you've locked in the event space. You've locked in a lot of the stuff already, right? If you're in a community and like for us, guayaki, a lot of people drink it. So we know that's like a big hitter for us. Definitely continue to reach out and see who's willing to actually trust you guys in throwing an event like this. Now, promotion is going well. You got people involved. People are coming. People are buying tickets. Now, how do you prepare the week leading up to the show, right? Since I was hosting them and it wasn't at like a larger performance venue, I was the one actually DJing and setting up the music for all of the artists, right? So if this is you and this is your case, you want to make sure that all of the artist music is actually prepared. Get in touch with the artist, have the artists tell you the lineup of the songs that they want to do, connect with the venue and see all of the technical details that you need in order to just hook up with, again, if you're DJing, your DJ deck, or for the DJ that is there. If they have a technical person at the venue, make sure you're in contact with them directly so you can ask them all the technical questions that you need. If they know what they're doing, the hookup should be smooth. And if you need to, go to the venue during that week on the morning, weekend before or something, when they're not as busy. You can go, you can see the gear yourself, because if you go in there day of and something's wrong, you're missing a cable, you're going to be stressed. You're already going to be stressed in the first place, but you're going to be more stressed than you should be. And now it's the day of the show, right? So you get to the venue. First thing, you're going to connect with your venue and start setup, right? So if you got a DJ deck, connect the DJ deck, the computer. This is most likely 2 to 3 hours in advance, unless they want you there morning of, and then it gives more time for sound check. If you have artists come in early and you're ready, the next thing is really just do sound check. Make sure they're comfortable. Make sure everything there is kind of accommodating for them. The sound check is really, if everything's going well, it shouldn't be any issues with the mic or with your equipment. It's really to just get the artist comfortable with the space. In addition to just setting up, the stressful part comes with the running around that you got to do day of. You're going to have to be a host in addition to performing and all this other stuff, right? So as people are coming in, you're going to want to greet them as they come in, give them a thank you if you know them, and just be approachable as the event organizer, as this host, right? With that comes setting up the vibe of the venue, of the space. For us, it was boom bap. We had a lot of Griselda, a lot of Alchemist, a lot of Earl Sweatshirts. If you're trying to set a vibe, you want to make sure that when people are entering the space, they see that the vibe is clear. You know what I mean? There's no question in like what they're stepping into. If you're hosting the event, practice what you're going to say. That's probably my biggest advice, and one of the few things that I don't think I did enough of leading up to my events. Thanking the right people, right? So you want to thank your venue. You want to thank anybody who helped set up. You want to thank all your artists. And just give them a proper send-off at the end of the night. All right, and now comes after the show, right? Your work doesn't end at the event end time, right? You want to formally thank your artist and get a gauge of how they felt during the event, right? Of course, if you're messing with money and you're paying out artists, you want to make sure that once you get this payout from whether it be Eventbrite or from the venue, the venues can just send the payouts themselves. But if you're handling payout, do not waste time on that. You don't want to become that shady businessman or, the person who's just trying to do it just to get a couple bucks over somebody. Because then you get a bad reputation, and none of that is helpful for anybody, honestly. If you have a photographer at the event, definitely have them send you all the footage. Try and create some sort of content around community, around the people who are performing, and highlight them in some sort of way. But those are the kind of general overview. A lot of this was just spitballing. It's crazy where it started. Me making beats by myself, and all the way to now where I'm comfortable not only just performing, but also hosting events with people who I trust. And this is just a self-reflection, just a guideline of how we started these events. I don't know if it'll be out now, but there should be some sort of vlog from this last event. Let me know what you think of this kind of style too. If you want more like this, let me know. And I'll spit out more just like in depth of how to get in contact with sponsors or how to do a setup for DJ deck. We'll get some of that content going too. Excited for the future, excited for Boro in the future. There's a lot of cool things that I've been planning with the people around me and some artists around me. So hopefully a lot of that comes to fruition and it'll be reflected on this channel and just in the future as we go along. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening, and catch you in the next one. Peace.